The business books start here. I mentioned last week and in some of the weeks leading up to this that I also reviewed all the books that I was assigned and read for the MBA program at Willamette University from 2011 to 2013. This is the first one of those books, and some of these books may be boring or uninteresting to some folks, but if you are particularly interested in business, or if some of these titles or concepts may be interesting to you to see ways that they could integrate into everyday life, there might be some hidden gems here. So I am going to go through each of these on the channel as well. This is the first one. It's called Resonant Leadership by Richard Boyatzis and Annie McKee. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. And in the review, I use a lot of quotes to talk about the topics and the concepts that they seem to use in a particular way in the book. So I am going to do the air quotes symbol here as I talk about them. I wouldn't normally do that, but you'll see how it's relevant as we go here. I wrote this about it midway through that first course. This is a self-help book for people in charge of things. I read it for a leadership, effectiveness, and development course in my MBA program. The major issue I have with it is that its recommendations are vague and left without conclusion. To paraphrase, much of the book is about the need for leaders to de-stress with renewal. Although Boyatzis and McKee reiterate multiple times that your traditional happy places are not de-stressful enough if you are forced to endure a leader's sacrifice syndrome. They offer general concepts that can assist, but neglect the specificity that would satisfy their instruction to create regular and significant renewal. The book details how stressed leaders are dissonant as opposed to resonant. It's a great way to validate the need for days off, and it also does its due diligence redefining leadership language into words of the author's choosing, hence the quoted words in this review. They tended to contradict themselves, though. At one point saying exercise couldn't provide enough relief, but in another describing a successfully resonant executive's regular running to be his specific meditative practice. I do want to rid myself of dissonance to be a resonant leader. This book did not give me the tools necessary to get there. It only reminded me that if I don't chill out, I won't get better. So the air quote thing is pretty silly, but it was important to talk about this review because, and it's a great way to kick off the MBA program series too, because much of learning about business in school for me was just about taking concepts that seem to be understandable, seem to be common sense to some degree, and giving them language that is specific to a way of doing things. That was really what business instruction taught me for the most part. There were specific things that you can learn as well, but just like any sort of textbook, I think it was really learning the way to speak the language of business. And that's why I kind of harped on this fact of these are a bunch of concepts that I think we all kind of know. We know that we need to chill out, we need to de-stress, and leaders in particular need to do that. And this book really felt like it was just telling us stuff that we definitely know, and just making sure that we attached specific language to it to kind of follow through. It did bother me that the simple idea about exercise was looked at as like not something that was enough, but then it went to preach it too. I think when getting to this kind of self-help, if it is self-help, and even some of the business instruction books that we have here too, I'd like more guidance. If we're going to talk about something not working, let's make sure we talk about the way things work to go forward, the right solution, or something that at least would satisfy the processes that are being discussed in the book. This kind of reminds me a lot of what we talked about in The Tyranny of Dead Ideas by Matt Miller. In that it seemed to be always focused on leading to a particular solution, as opposed to considering how anyone could find a solution on their own. This book kind of put me there too. It was an interesting start, and it was a great way to kick off the program, to show that yes, we're going to work hard, and it's important that we relax as well as part of that working hard. And I still have the book. I actually have it right on my desk. So it's one of the ones that I kept around to remind me that I need to do additional work for myself in addition to the work that I'm doing in business. But I feel like it could have gone a little bit further in terms of saying something that was profound and sticking into a place that it would remember for executives to move forward. So this is, again, Resonant Leadership. It's the first of the MBA books. This one's by Richard Boyatzis and Annie McKee. I give it 2 out of 5 stars on Goodreads. And I am going to create a separate playlist for all of the business books so that it's all sort of mixed up in there if you want to just go through the MBA program books. But I also will have the books that I read for fun during this period sort of interspersed with everything. So it's all going to be good, but all the books there from 2011 to 2013 are going to be part of this channel as well. Thanks so much. We'll see you on the next one.